let's move on to the Indianapolis Colts 2023 season prediction, where Ryan and I, we break down every single one of the Colts game and go over what we think their floor and ceiling will be throughout the entire 2023 season. But before we do that, if you have not already, hit that subscribe button and also ring the bell to get notified whenever we create new content. We have a goal of getting to 2,000 subscribers by the start of the NFL season, which is just a couple weeks away. And that means a bunch new content will be coming out, including a prediction series, a season prediction for every single NFL team. As well, once when the season starts, we will be having a fun season-long competition where we will predict and make videos on every single NFL game. So if you want to see those videos, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and also ring the bell to get notified when new content is created. And Ryan, let's get into it here.
Let's do it.
So, as I said, we went over every single game throughout the entire NFL season and broke down which games we think will win or will lose for each team. And you'll even notice here some games will be a tie. Those are kind of some of the swing games that we feel are really going to kind of dictate how the season pans out for that team. So, but that's not really going to matter too much because sometimes in the tie swing games can be the difference between playoff berth and not, or division winner or not. Colts will not have to worry about that this year. And so I think maybe their record will be a little bit better than 2-13-2 or like 4-13 as their ceiling. It just really kind of depends, but we just really don't know how Richardson's going to develop. That is really just kind of the key factor here. They did start to sell off some pieces that were going to eventually be pieces that went left in free agency at the end of the season, as they're kind of already doing this rebuild. So it could be better, but the AFC is so good, and they're in the AFC, so they're playing primarily AFC teams. Yeah, I just think it's going to be really tough for them to contend. Jacksonville's had their number of the past 5 years, I think. I think the Texans are kind of right on par with them, and then they go up against a bunch of other teams that I think in the AFC that obviously they're just better than. I think the Titans here, we have it as a tie. We also don't really know how the Titans are going to be either, but it honestly potentially even put that as a tie, as a win for the Titans, just because I think they match up well. But in general, though, many games the Colts are going to be underdogs going into.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think you look at where they are. I think they're going to be the Eagles from 2 seasons ago, right? They were struggling. They were picking pretty high in drafts. They did get good players, but you see the potential. You see where the defense is going. They had a really solid offensive line all throughout those that time, and it really just when everything clicked for Jalen Hurts, that's when all the pieces for this offense really fell into place. They went out, they got AJ Brown, and I think the Colts are just in that stage where they just don't quite have the talent to compete yet because that talent is still learning and growing, and they're competing, just not quite at a high enough level to really be make the playoffs or anything like that. Very similar to the Houston Texans.
If I remember correctly, I think the Eagles that year were the number 1 rushing team by a long shot.
Yeah,
and I can see the Colts having that potential this year, just with Anthony Richardson still developing his arm, well, actually, he doesn't need to develop his arm; just needs to develop his accuracy and decision making. And that's going to come with time, and he will get there. But this year, I could see it being a bunch of RPOs, read option. Sorry. Complete blank there. But with Jonathan Taylor coming back now and everything, I think him and Jonathan Taylor in the backfield will just be an absolute monster. And honestly, they could probably win several games that way, just running the ball down their throats, because Richardson and Taylor are just such great runners. And then they do still have some good weapons with Pittman, Pierce. They also drafted Josh Downs as well. So it is going to be interesting to see how this team develops. Similar to the Texans, they're in a fun time in the rebuild stage, unlike the past couple of years where they've just been trying to find these veteran players to come in who still have some, we think they have some left, but they just are not able to take the Colts to the playoffs or very far in the playoffs. And so, but now that they have a bunch of young talent, it's going to be fun to watch this year. But even games as we come on, we have the Saints winning that game in Week 9. I can see the Colts potentially match up pretty well against them. Same maybe even with the Panthers, but as of right now, just on paper, I think that the Panthers and Saints are just in a better situation to succeed overall than what the Colts are.
Yeah, no, I agree. The Panthers' offensive line should be coming around. They do have a familiar face at head coach in Frank Reich. So if he coaches how he coached Indianapolis last year, then I like Indianapolis' chances in that game. But then going to Germany to play New England, I think New England has the better team on paper as well. And yeah, I just think you look at the rest of this season, and they play good teams, like you said in the beginning of the video. They're in the AFC. They're going to be playing a lot of AFC teams, and right now the AFC is just absolutely stacked.
Yeah, absolutely stacked. Like as we mentioned in the Texans video, I'm confident in the AFC. I'm confident in 2 teams not making the playoffs. I cannot see an argument to where the Texans or the Colts are in the playoffs. I can make an argument, I feel, for the Broncos, for the Raiders, Dolphins. Any other team in the AFC can definitely make an argument for there's talent on there on paper. Like if some things click, they made the right changes in my mind, and they're not rebuilding also too with a bunch of young talent. So it's going to be fun to watch. It's always fun to watch a rebuild when it's not your team. And so just kind of see how things develop, see what were the correct moves were made, and then in hindsight look back, be like, no, instead of maybe drafting Anthony Richardson, maybe you draft Will Levis, or vice versa. You know what I mean? So that'll be fun to speculate and everything. So, but with the Colts this year, it'll be fun to watch. We're potentially, now that I'm in Atlanta, our dad's a Colts fan, we might do some fun little YouTube video of us at the Falcons Colts game. Christmas Eve. But I mean, that's still the worst.
Yeah, but all in all, I think it's going to be an exciting year for the Colts. Going to be, I think, a lot of moral victories for them. But let's go ahead and wrap up this video here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on what you think the Colts record is going to be in 2023. And other than that, we will see you guys next time.